Storm drain inlet protection is a practice to reduce sediment from stormwater runoff discharging from the construction site prior to entering the storm drain system. Effective storm drain inlet protection allows sediment to settle out of water and filters sediment from the water before it enters the drain inlet. Install temporary drainage inlet protection at drainage inlets in paved and unpaved areas as follows. Identify existing and planned storm drain inlets that have the potential to receive stormwater runoff and discharge from the construction site, and determine the most effective method to protect drain inlets. Install temporary drainage inlet protection such that the ponded runoff does not encroach on the traveled way or overtop the curb or dike. Place gravel-filled bags to control ponding and prevent runoff from overtopping the curb or dike. Stack gravel-filled bags to form a gravel bag barrier. Place the gravel-filled bags so that the bags are tightly abutted and overlap the joints in adjacent rows. Create a spillway by removing one or more gravel-filled bags from the upper layer of the gravel bag barrier. Use gravel-filled bags only in shoulder areas and when placed behind temporary railing. Excavate the area for the sediment trap and size the excavation to provide a minimum storage capacity. Clear the bedding area for the temporary drainage inlet protection of obstructions, including rocks, clods, and debris greater than 1 inch in diameter before installation. Secure the erosion control blanket and geotextile fabric to the surface of the excavated sediment trap with staples and embed it in the trench adjacent to the drainage inlet. Anchor the perimeter edge of the erosion control blanket and geotextile fabric in a trench. Place fiber rolls over the erosion control blanket or geotextile fabric with the ends of the fiber rolls abutted tightly together. Secure fiber rolls with stakes installed along the length of the fiber rolls. Do not install stakes within 12 inches of the end of the rolls. Install the silt fence along the perimeter of the erosion control blanket or geotextile fabric with the posts facing the drainage inlet. Backfill the trench and tamp the soil to secure the silt fence fabric in the bottom of the trench. Install foam barriers in individual sections adjacent to existing drainage inlets. Securely attach the foam barriers to the pavement according to the angle and spacing information provided in the project special provisions. Install foam barriers flush against the sides of concrete or asphalt concrete curbs, dikes, and pavement with the inner material and fabric cover cut smoothly and evenly to provide a tight flush joint. Install the sediment filter bag by removing the drainage inlet grate, placing the sediment bag in the opening, and replacing the grate to secure the sediment filter bag in place. Install a temporary linear sediment barrier upslope of the existing drainage inlet and parallel with the curb, dike, or flow line to prevent sediment from entering the drainage inlet. Inspect all inlet protection devices before and after storm events, at 24-hour intervals during extended storms, and weekly during the rest of the rainy season. Check storm drain inlet protection devices after several storms to assess if sediment is bypassing inlet protection devices. The contractor's water pollution control manager should also check for sediment accumulation. If accumulated sediment has reached 1/3 the holding capacity of the device, then make a note of it and ensure that it is removed. Check and ensure that the stakes are securely driven into the ground and are in good shape, not bent, cracked, or splintered, and are reasonably perpendicular to the ground. Check fences and ensure that they are repaired or replaced when damage is noted. Check barriers for broken or torn bags. Maintain temporary drainage inlet protection to provide sediment holding capacity and to reduce runoff velocities. Repair or replace temporary drainage inlet protection immediately after damage occurs. Remove sediment deposits, trash, and debris from temporary drainage inlet protection as needed or when directed by the resident engineer. Deposit the removed sediment within the project limits so that the sediment is not subject to erosion by wind or by water. Remove and dispose of trash and debris in accordance with the project special provisions. At locations where rills and other evidence of concentrated runoff have occurred beneath the drainage inlet protection, the protection shall be adjusted to prevent another occurrence. Repair or replace the temporary silt fence when the silt fence fabric becomes split, torn, or unraveled. Repair a sagging or slumping silt fence with additional stakes or replace it. Replace broken or split stakes. Maintain the temporary silt fence to provide a sediment holding capacity of approximately 1/3 the height of the silt fence fabric above ground. Remove sediment in excess of 2 inches above the surface of the erosion control blanket or geotextile fabric. Remove sediment from the sediment trap when the volume has been reduced by approximately 1/2. Remove sediment deposits when the deposit is 1/3 the height of the gravel bag barrier or 1/2 the height of the spillway, whichever is less. Replace gravel-filled bags when the bag material ruptures or when the binding fails. Repair or replace split, torn, unraveling, sagging, or slumping fiber rolls. Repair or replace foam barriers when the geotextile fabric cover becomes split, torn, or unraveled. Reattach foam barriers that have become detached or dislodged to the pavement. Remove sediment deposits when the deposit reaches 1/3 of the foam barrier height. Empty sediment filter bags when the restraint cords are no longer visible. Empty sediment filter bags by placing 1-inch steel reinforcing bars through the lifting loops. Completely empty the contents from the bag and rinse it before replacement in the drainage inlet.